What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone's doing okay. Hope their week's going well. I'm back with another video with the Ask Me Anything series about my travel. Glad to give you guys good stories and answer all your questions about travel, about my trip, and about everything in between. So last time we talked about the things that I missed, including my spaces, and I put a lot of heavy emphasis on the laundry machine. And that is what I'm going to talk about today. So I had a really good question that where do I wash my clothes if I don't have a laundry machine, if I don't have any machine to wash or space to hang my stuff up, what the heck do I do? Which is a very good question. And I have a couple tips and maybe some funny stories here and there of things that happened to me when I was trying to wash all my clothes. So I guess to set the scene, I was living out of a really small backpack, my college backpack, and I really didn't have much with me. I had about 5 shirts, 3 shorts, 6 pairs of socks, 6 pairs of underwear, a pair of pants, and a jacket and a coat. So not a lot, and definitely not one thing for 2 years worth of travel. So I definitely had to, wash some stuff. So how in the world did I do that, especially in places that I wasn't really familiar with? Well, the first thing that I have to say is that you have to be comfortable re-wearing things. It's just a fact of life. You're not going to be able to wear those 6 shirts or 5 shirts and wash them after one use. You're going to have to, put them on there, wear them 2 or 3 times. And hopefully it doesn't get so bad that you have to do the socks and underwear. But, well, I'm not going to lie to you, it did happen. Sometimes you're going to have to reuse everything, depending on where you are, depending on what's going on at the time. So yeah, be comfortable with that. It's really not so bad. Sometimes you just got to rewear it. Now don't rewear it until it turns yellow and becomes stiff like you starched it. There is a line that we shouldn't cross as people, that wearing your underwear for 4 months straight probably isn't the best idea for anybody, including yourself. So how the heck do you even do that? So the first thing I have to say is you have to be opportunistic. You have to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you, because if you're lazy and you missed a chance, you might not get another chance to do laundry for 2 weeks. And you have to make everything that last clean for 2 weeks, not 2 weeks and then another 2 weeks worth of wearing, 1 month without washing. Not a good idea. So you have to be super opportunistic. And it starts with the hosts. I did most of my laundry at hosts' places, and they usually had no problem doing that. They usually have the facilities since they live there, either in their building or in their home, and it was usually no problem. So I would just ask, hey, mind if I do a thing? Might throw it in with their stuff so it saves some water. No problem at all. The second one is to take advantage of good facilities. So the best facilities that I ever ran into were in hosts' homes, and the good news is those were also free. The bad news is that usually doesn't happen all the time, and sometimes you're going to be stuck with either hostel washer and dryers or really, really expensive hotel laundry services. Now, hostels are very hit or miss. Sometimes they're really great and sometimes they're really, really awful. And it sucks that you have to pay for really, really awful services, including the dryers. In most hostels, I would just steer away from those and hang your clothes up. But take advantage of the good facilities. So if you're traveling long term and you find a place with good facilities, do it right then. Do not wait. Do not wait, because opportunities are sparse, are very sparse. So make sure take advantage of those facilities, and if you do spoil yourself, make sure that it checks out. And if you're in a hotel, they're not doing a half-ass job, make sure that they're doing a good job. You never know until you look, and obviously take advantage of what you got. So laundromat services are actually really popular in developing countries as well. Those are actually really good, especially if you find a really local one that's off the beaten path, and they'll even fold it for you, and it's really not that expensive. It's going to be more expensive than doing it on your own, but this is really popular in Southeast Asia. You can usually find a shop where they're doing a bunch of laundry for, big families or restaurants, hotels, all kinds of stuff. Hotels might even outsource to these places and charge you a premium on top of it. So finding them yourself, I would really recommend. And they're really not that hard to find if you're walking down the street, or if you just ask. like a hostel front desk member, or even a hotel member. They might tell you where they do the laundry, and then you can just go and do it yourself or drop off the clothes yourself. Those are really good. And they fold it for you, which is an even better bonus. So you get more travel time and you get less of the hassle. Once again, hotels are really expensive. I would probably try to stay away from those unless it is a last resort, or, sometimes you got to pamper yourself if you're on the road for a long time. So if you want someone to just completely take care of it, hotels might be the way to go. Sometimes they also have really nice laundry facilities for use, for payment, and those would be a best bet, definitely over a hostel situation. But that's a good trick, is to ask them where they do the laundry, especially in developing countries, and then just go to the place where they ship out the laundry to, and you'll save a dime and you get a good experience. So but definitely be opportunistic when you're trying to wash your clothes. Sometimes, that just doesn't happen. Sometimes the facilities are terrible and you're really not going to get anything. It's not going to be worth the money or whatever. So you can't be afraid to use what you have. In most cases, that's the sink. So me and Jackie used to do this all the time, especially when the underwear and socks were starting to run out, because those, you probably want those clean. So there's nothing wrong with just plugging the sink, putting a dab of either shampoo or body wash, whatever you have, and just letting them soak in for a while. I mean, it's not going to be the optimum experience, but it actually works extremely well. It keeps them clean, keeps them fresh. There's antibacterial properties in those products, so you just throw them in and let them soak for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then wring them out, rinse them out really good, and repeat for all of your stuff. You can really do all of your stuff in a bathtub, and we've had to do that a couple times as well. So, and it worked fine. We didn't really notice any huge difference. And, in a pinch, that's what you got to do. That's just what you have to do. Sometimes you just got to use what you got, and that's either the sink or the bathtub. Don't be afraid to use it. And one of my last two tips, I would say. The first one is definitely plan ahead. So we have dryers here in the US. We use dryers regularly. The rest of the world doesn't really have dryers. And sometimes, depending on the place, or if it's getting direct sunlight, because they all hang up their stuff to dry, it could take about 2 days. So the last thing you want to do is wash your stuff the morning of when you're supposed to leave in the afternoon, and then you have all this soggy, terrible stuff to throw in your backpack and just get rancid and gross, and I don't even want to think about it. So make sure you plan ahead when you do your laundry. That's part of being opportunistic. When you see good facilities, jump on them. One, because it's very rare that they won't be busy if they are good facilities. And two, no one has dryers. Like, people usually don't have dryers. You have to hang out your stuff. So plan ahead for that. If you're leaving the country for a long period of time, make sure you do your laundry when you first arrive at a place, or definitely have at least 2 days before you move and you have to pack everything in your bags. So no dryers. Remember that for sure. And worst case scenario, replace things when necessary. So sometimes things just wear out their life, or you were in a really remote place and you didn't get to do any laundry for a month and a half, so everything's just terrible. When you take stuff on the road, when you take clothes on the road, especially for a long time, you are not assuming that those pieces of clothing are going to come and make it back with you. If they do, wow, those are some sturdy pieces of clothing, because your clothes take a lot of punishment. And that means, you really have to take care of yourself, especially your feet, making sure your shoes are good, your socks are good, your clothing is clean and it's not grimy. And if it gets to that point, replace it. You got to replace things. So there's a thing about being cheap, and when traveling, you want to travel cheap, especially for a long time and you're not working. But you got to take care of yourself, and there's going to be a time when something doesn't make it, or it's lasted its life, and you got to replace it. So that's how I did laundry on the road. It was very random. And you just had to be super opportunistic for what opportunities and people that were able to help you out. You have to, sometimes use the sink. You need to plan ahead, so because there's no dryers around, or very, very few dryers, and replace stuff unnecessary, because there's many things that didn't make it on its way back with me, and that's okay. That's part of the whole journey. So that's my spiel for today. Hope you guys got some good value out of that for your own trips, especially if someone is out there is planning their own long-term trip. I hope those tips really helped. If you have any other questions, please comment in the comments below. And yeah, ask me more questions, or I'm going to start making stuff up. And hey, that's fine with me. But I would rather answer all of your guys' questions. Podcast is in the description as well. Check it out. These are the voices of many people that I met all across the world. So you can enjoy a piece of my trip and some of the people that I met and some of the people I did laundry with along the way. So that's me for today. Enjoy your Tuesday, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you soon. See you later.